Hi, I'm Donna Wolfe from Naztazia.com.
Today I'll show you how to crochet for beginners. This is the left-handed version. Please check the link in the comments for the right-handed video. To begin, you'll need some supplies. The first thing you need is some yarn. I happen to like Red Heart Super Saver yarn in a lighter color. And you'll need a crochet hook. I like an aluminum crochet hook in a size H or 5mm. Next, there are two popular ways that crocheters hold their crochet hook. The first is like a dinner knife. You place your pointer finger and thumb about 1/3 of the way down on the hook, and the bottom part of the hook remains in the palm of your hand. The second method is like a pencil. With this version, the bottom of the hook sits more on the side of the first finger. There are also several ways to hold the yarn. I happen to favor the classic or vintage method. In this case, the yarn is placed in the other hand and wrapped around the pointer finger. And then the thumb and middle finger hold the yarn like this. Some crocheters like to place the yarn between their two fingers instead, while other crocheters hold the yarn in yet other ways. Whatever feels comfortable for you is perfectly fine. The very first technique in crochet is the slip knot. This helps give a more solid start to the work. There are several methods to do this, and I will show you two of them. The first is to leave about 4 to 5 inches of yarn unworked. Then wrap the yarn from the yarn skein around your pointer finger like this. Tuck the yarn under the loop and pull it through. And then pull it tighter. That's a slip knot. Another way to make a slip knot is to first make a loop with your fingers. Then wrap the yarn around your thumb like this. Push the yarn through the loop and pull it through. Then tighten the slip knot. It is now time to insert the hook into the loop. Pull on the yarn end from the yarn skein to tighten the loop around the hook. You don't want it too tight, but you don't want it too loose either. The chain is the next important technique in crochet. It is made up of little loops that form a foundation for the other stitches. To make a chain, place the hook in your hand and the yarn in the other hand. Place the hook downward, catch the yarn, and wrap the yarn like this. Now, with the hook part of the crochet hook, pull that yarn through the existing loop already on the hook. That is chain number 1. The slip knot we made before does not count as a chain. This is our first chain. And we repeat the process. Use the hook end to pull that yarn down, and then through the existing loop on the hook. That is now chain number 2. And we'll do it again. Notice how I'm trying to let the yarn flow over my finger while at the same time I'm trying to regulate the tension so it's not too tight nor too loose. And there's the third chain. And now the fourth chain. Keep going until you make a total of 21 chains. Remember that slip knot does not count as a chain. Here's what my 21 chains look like. The next topic we're going to cover is one of the basic stitches in crochet called the single crochet. After making the 21 chains, prepare your hands again for crocheting. We're going to skip that very first chain. In crochet, we oftentimes skip one chain or more so that the first stitch doesn't become too tight. In that next chain, insert your hook. There are several ways to insert your hook into a chain, but the easiest for beginners is just to grab that top loop like this. Wrap your yarn around and pull it through. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Wrap the yarn around the hook again also called a yarn over, and pull it through both loops. You have just made one single crochet. Find the next chain. In this chain, we'll repeat the process again. Insert the hook into the chain's center hole. You'll want to ensure that top loop of the chain is on your hook. Yarn over and pull that through the chain's top loop. Yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. And that's single crochet number 2. I'll do this again. Insert hook into the chain. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, then pull through both loops on the hook. There are 3 single crochet stitches. Continue making these until you have a total of 20 single crochet stitches on this row. 18, 19, and 20. I have a total of 20 single crochet stitches on this row. Now it is time for row 2. We're still going to make single crochet stitches, but where we place them is going to be slightly different. At the end of row 1, prior to beginning row 2, we're going to make a chain 1. This elevates our work a bit so it matches the height of the next row's stitches. And turn the work like this. We are going to skip that first chain and basically pretend it is not there. Now we're going to make our first single crochet of this row into the last single crochet of the previous row. And we enter our hook into the stitch from underneath like this. Yarn over and pull through both loops. I'll show this again. Insert the hook underneath the 2 top loops of the previous row's stitch. Yarn over, and then pull through both loops. Insert the hook here, yarn over, and pull through loops. And once more. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through. Be sure to count every stitch as you work to ensure each row has 20 stitches on it. Sometimes that last stitch can be a bit confusing. And there's my 20 single crochet stitches. For your next row and all subsequent rows, you will continue doing what you did on row 2. You will make 1 chain and then turn the work. Skip the first chain and proceed with putting 1 single crochet over each and every stitch from the previous row. After you have made 20 rows of 20 stitches, your work will look something like this. To finish crochet, you will need to cut the yarn approximately 8 inches or so from where the hook and last stitch were made. This is called the tail end. I like to make a chain before I finish my work. Then pull the yarn through like this, and then really tug on the yarn to tighten it. These blunt tip yarn needles work great for sewing in or weaving in the tail end. I find really squeezing the yarn ends tip flat helps it go through the eye of the needle easier. On the side that won't be noticed as much, begin taking small stitches with the yarn needle like this. These little stitches are helping to weave in the yarn ends. I also like to pierce the yarn a bit to create extra friction. This will help keep the ends from unraveling or coming undone. Once you are finished weaving in the ends, use the scissors to clip off the excess yarn. And that's it. You will also have to remember to weave in that beginning tail end too. And now you have a nice square that you can use to set down your cell phone on or your keys. I probably should also mention of how to fix mistakes in crochet. If you are counting and noticed you skipped a stitch or made the wrong stitch, remove the crochet hook. Then slowly and carefully pull on the end that is connected to the yarn skein. This will remove the loops. Once you have removed the incorrect stitches, place your crochet hook back in and continue crocheting away. And now you know the basics of crochet.
To get more videos like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.